So, students, what do we have here with us today? Well, it's grade 10th, your book, First Flight, and today we are going to do the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Now, before I move on to what the poem is all about, let's talk a little bit about Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost. He was an American poet, but his work was initially published in England before it was published in America. A renowned poet, no doubt. Students, you can understand by the fact that he was, or rather, he is the only poet who has won 4 Pulitzer Prizes. Yes, not one, not two, not three, but 4 of them. And he was conferred to be the Poet Laureate of Vermont. Now, you would think that who or what is a Poet Laureate? So, a Poet Laureate is actually officially appointed. He is a poet who is officially appointed by the government or the conferring institution, and this poet is expected to compose poems for special events and occasions. So you can imagine the kind of influence this poet has had on the entire society, on the literary world. And many of the people call him a nature poet, and that is very true because he uses something or the other of nature and then he relates it to human situations. That is what this poet has been doing. And even in this poem, Dust of Snow, we will see that how Frost has related a very small and a simple event to something as complex and complicated as human emotions. Now, what is this simple incident about? Well, a bird must have been flying and then it just perches on a tree which is laden with snow. It shakes itself and the snow falls on the poet, and voila! The poet composes 8 lines of hope and positivity. 8 meaningful lines delving in human emotions and giving hope and courage. And what about us ordinary mortals? Well, we struggle just to compose a line of poem, just to frame few sentences of an essay. And look at this poet. No wonder he's called great, huh? No wonder, no wonder. So let's just go back to the poem, read it, and then try and understand what Robert Frost wants us to. Dust of Snow. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now, rude, my children, is something that it's a feeling that you hold in regret. Hemlock tree is a poisonous plant and it has small flowers. Now, let us read these lines one by one and let us understand just what exactly had happened and why the poet wrote these lines. So what has happened? The poet might have been a little troubled. Probably he did not have a good day. Maybe he was, feeling a little depressed. Maybe he was not able to compose any new work and he was not feeling very good about himself or his life or his talent, and so in a depressed, in a melancholy state, he is just walking by somewhere and he happens to just pass under a hemlock tree. And right at that moment, a crow who is flying from somewhere decides to perch on one of its branches. Now children, these branches of hemlock tree, they are completely covered with snow. And the moment this crow lands on it, what happens? The snow falls on the poet. So maybe the bird must have, shaken itself or its feathers, or maybe because the bird perched on it, the snow fell. Whatever the reason would be, the fact was that these small snow, these small particles of snow, which is almost like a dust, it fell on the poet. Well, you would say, so what? Such an ordinary thing. What is so special about that? But well, then you are not Robert Frost, are you? Robert Frost found not just one thing special, but a number of things special about it. and he tells you exactly what he found so special. Look at his next four lines. He says, has given my heart a change of mood. So while he was quite sad, sullen, depressed, having no hope of any, no future, the future must be looking very bleak to him. He must not be having any happy thoughts. Just the simple thing, just the simple incident of few snow particles, just dust-like particles have fallen on him. They have lifted up his mood. They have made him cheerful. They have made him happy. They have filled his heart with hope. And he says, and saved some part of a day I had rued. So probably his day had not gone on well. He must be thinking that my day has gone a total waste. I have not been able to achieve anything. I have not been able to do anything substantial with it. But he says, just for this incident, just because of this one beautiful incident, finally my day is still not wasted. I have at least rescued a part of this day. So he's so very happy. He says that he has rescued a little bit of that day, and he has done something that is effective, something that is good, and therefore he's feeling very, very happy. So while he had been, regretting that his day did not go well, that he was not able to make use of a very good day, well, his feelings are no longer the same. He is not in a negative frame of mind anymore. He is now feeling positively charged. He's full of hope. He's full of lots of peace in his heart, and he's very happy. Now, children, I want you to focus on the two main objects of this poem. Of course, apart from the poet, that is, look at the object crow. Now, when you talk about a crow, you never relate anything positive about it. Crow means something negative. It is always an indicator of something that is related to doom. It speaks about fear. You relate death with it, Now, if we are the followers of Hinduism, then we have a belief that our dear departed, they come in the form of crows, and they, partake of the food that we offer. So in other words, we kind of associate these creatures or these birds with something that is gone, that is no longer there, something that is dead and gone, right? So a crow is never held in a positive sense of the word. Similarly, when you look at the hemlock tree, it's a poisonous tree. It is, related to toxic things, toxicity. It is not considered to be a very good object. It is not considered to be something that will make you happy just to look at it. I mean, something that is poisonous is not going to fill your heart with hope. It is going to fill your heart with a lot of fear, isn't it? So look at these two objects. They are basically negative objects. But in Robert Frost's poem, they are not working as per their negative connotations. They are actually coming out to be the positive ones. So this poet is telling you that it's not always the positive stuff that brings in happiness. Like, if the poet could have talked about the cherry tree or the mango tree or whatever tree, XYZ tree, something that you look at it and you are happy to see its flowers or its fruits. It's talking about a hemlock tree which is poisonous, which is surely going to kill you or harm you. So you don't expect anything positive from it, right? He could have easily spoken about a beautiful bird, but here he's talking about a crow. Using these two, he is bringing about a positivity. He's sending a message to you that it is not always the positive things that are going to make you feel positive. Sometimes the negative things are also able to do the same thing as the positive ones. You should not prejudice yourself that because they are negative, they are going to cause you harm only, or because they are negative, they are going to bring in some negative feelings only. Creatures that are linked with negative aspects, even they can bring about a positive change, even they can bring about happiness. And this is exactly what the poet is trying to tell you. Apart from that, the other message that the poet sends across is that you see the world not how it is, but because how you want to see it. I mean, like, you are happy, so you're going to see the world, as a happy place. If you're sad, you're going to see it as a sad place. So basically, it's your frame of mind, and your frame of mind needs to be changed. And then the poet says that nature is the best way or the best cure for this change of mind to take place. Nature has a power to heal you not only from outside but from deep within. It fills your heart with peace. It fills your heart with love. You look at the beauty of the nature and your heart swells with pride and happiness and joy. And these are the messages that the poet wants to give to you. Apart from that, if you notice that the poet has used a very simple incident, something that is so ordinary, something that is so mundane, we would hardly bother about it. But he says, do not expect big things to bring about big changes. Small things can also do the same thing. Small things can also bring about significant changes. They can make you happy. They can also fill your heart with positivity. They can also fill your heart with hope and courage and all things that are joyous. The poet wants us to realize that negative things can also bring up some positivity. He says that we should be very thankful to the nature because it is one thing that makes us feel relaxed. He says that it is not always the bigger things that are going to bring about a huge change. Smaller things are equally significant. So now let's move on to the rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D. It is very, very clear to us when we look at the last word. Crow, me, snow, tree, heart, mood, part, rude. And the poetic device, well, it's easy to spot. It's alliteration. You can see the line saved some where S letter has been repeated. So students, I believe we now have grasped the basic message that the poet has tried to give us through this poem, and we are going to keep this message in mind in the life that we are going to live from now onwards, because there would be times when you would feel depressed or hopeless, but you must believe that you would always find something or the other, small or big, positive or negative, anything that can change your mind, that can change your mental state from doom, from fear, to something that is full of positivity and hope and would make you very courageous too. So it's bye for now. We'll meet again.